What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Nerdy Mark channel. I am Sid the Nerdy Mark, and today I have your review for AEW's Full Gear. Yes, I know, I haven't uploaded on this channel in forever. I'm just trying to really sort things out for myself. You guys understand why. I don't want to go into too much detail, but for those who understand. Thank you for doing so. Hope you've all been well, by the way. Hope you've all been having a good day. I know, we're in the midst of, I know we got this whole thing with the election going on, and who's the president. Now some people are saying this guy's the president. Someone's saying this person's the president. I don't know. I don't really care. I don't want to get into all that shit. Let's not talk about it. But yeah, these are kind of tumultuous times that we're continuing to live in, and I hope you guys are able to do well in this crazy, crazy world. But we did have some sort of escape. We forgot that we live in this crazy world for 4 hours on Saturday, thanks to AEW's pay-per-view Full Gear. Now, I was really excited for this pay-per-view. I really wanted to, I had a lot of expectations. So let's find out what happened. Did AEW deliver, or is this going to be their first dud of a pay-per-view? Am I going to give it 2 thumbs up, 2 thumbs down, somewhere in the middle? Let's find out. While we talk about AEW Full Gear, now I'm going to do something different. Since I didn't really do a who should and will win, I'm going to talk about who I predicted to win said match, and then kind of talk about the match, okay? So let's talk about this one. The buy-in, we had Serena Deeb taking on Allison for the NWA Women's World Championship. I obviously predicted that Serena Deeb was going to take this, and she did win this match. Pretty good stuff here. I liked it. NWA has like from some of the episodes that I had watched of NWA, they do have that old school feel to it, and even women's wrestling back then was a little bit different, in the old school style. So they definitely wrestled a decent women's wrestling match. There was really nothing much to it, in my opinion. It was fine for what it was. However, the best part came when, after this match was won, Serena Deeb came face to face with Thunder Rosa. There was a lot of speculation that Thunder Rosa was going to sign to WWE, but it looks like she's going to be sticking around in AEW as long as the NWA Women's Champion is with Serena Deeb. So, until she gets it back and whatnot. Even then, if she does go to WWE, she'd probably have to relinquish it anyway. Oh shit, sorry. But it was cool to see that Thunder Rosa is in AEW for the long haul. And one sec, folks. Oh, come on. I have that blue shirt here, and I have to move it out of the way. Anyway, yeah, this is all going in, by the way. I'm not editing any of this out. But overall, fine match. Serena Deeb won. Hopefully, we'll see a little bit more of Allison in the future. I hope this means she did get signed. It looks like NWA and AEW do have a bit of a working relationship. So let's see where it takes them. Hopefully, this will help beef up the women's division. And honestly, Thunder Rosa seems to be all elite, and that is a great get, and it's really good. And I'm just glad that Serena Deeb, she's gonna really also be one of those people who helps beef up the women's division. So I'm excited about that. So let's move on to our main card, and we opened up with Kenny Omega taking on Hangman Adam Page for the World Title Eliminator Tournament Final. I predicted that Kenny Omega was going to win this match. Very good stuff here. I really enjoyed it. It was a very good match for an episode of Dynamite. Okay? I don't feel like this was a pay-per-view caliber match. I mean, no, the 2 names on there are absolutely pay-per-view caliber. Don't get me wrong. I just feel like the match itself could have been a little better. Now, of course, Don Callis called some of the action here because, Don Callis, huge. He's called some of the best Omega matches. His entire series with Okada in New Japan, he called along with several other matches of Kenny Omega. So it was cool to see him here. Obviously, this was Omega's biggest match in AEW to date. I was a little disappointed that we didn't get the full cleaner entrance. Perhaps they're saving it for Revolution, which, of course, I'll talk about that when I talk about the main event. Now, I thought this was a very good match. I think it could have gone on a little bit longer, and also I feel like there was a little bit more story that could have been told in this match. It just felt like a really good wrestling match. It just felt like a stripped-down, bare-bones wrestling match. Nothing wrong with that, but Kenny Omega and Adam Page were a tag team, and they lost the titles to FTR. The whole tag team was falling apart anyway. The Elite was falling apart. There's so much that could have been done here, but they didn't do it. They just chose to just have these two men showcase a very, a standard, well, not a standard, like a very, solid wrestling match. Which, fine, yeah, this was a solid match, no doubt about it. Just could have been a little bit more to it, a little bit more story, a little bit more drama. That's all I wish it was there. But either way, fantastic match, good stuff here. And of course, Kenny Omega did put away Hangman Adam Page with the One-Winged Angel to face off against either Jon Moxley or Eddie Kingston for the AEW World Title. So let's move on. And we'll move on to Orange Cassidy taking on John Silver, Johnny Hungy, and Sid Thirsty. So one sec. It's just water, okay? I don't have anything fancy. But anyway, this was a fun match. I thought it was cool. I think it could have been a little bit more down on the card when we got to some of the more intense matches, but that's fine. This is okay. I still really liked it. It was, again, just all the hijinks that you can expect from Orange Cassidy. The hands in his pockets, John Silver, flexing his muscles like he does. Man, I wish I had muscles like his. Mine are okay, as you can see. Like they're, I don't know. So you can barely see them, but mine are there, but they're not. They could be better. Anyways, so I thought it was fine. Orange Cassidy, I predicted was going to win this match, and he did win this match. So there's that. I am looking forward to this Monday's episode of BTE, wherein I'm pretty sure Silver is going to get some more papers thrown at him by Mr. Brody Lee. So that's going to suck to be a Dark Order member. But I really don't have much to say about this match. It was fine. It was fun. Yeah, that's pretty much all it was. It was a comedy match, but it also had some athletic elements to it. So you know what? I'm happy. So let's move on to the next match. Cody versus Darby Allin, and I'm really sorry that's a really blurry picture. But Cody versus Darby, fantastic match. This was amazing. See, this is what I'm talking about. There is some story to this match. Darby has not bested Cody at all since, the last 3 matches he had with Cody Rhodes. Oh yeah, by the way, Cody has his name Cody Rhodes back again. So they actually, announced him as the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. So that was cool. It was really refreshing to hear that. But yeah, so yeah, Cody Rhodes. Now I can officially call him Cody Rhodes, so that's good. Anyway, but every time he's faced off against Cody, Darby Allin has fell short. And I think it was very important for him. I thought it was very important for him to get a win in this match because I didn't know where Darby would go from here if he lost to Cody. So I predicted that Darby would win this match. And fantastic match here. We had a little bit more showboating from Cody, doing the push-ups and all that good stuff, and Arn Anderson, not a big fan of that. He's become increasingly tired of Cody doing a lot of that showboating. So interesting. Is that maybe a plot point? Is that maybe a storyline? Is that going to be, integrated into a storyline, or what's going to happen with that? I'm not sure. But Cody did his damnedest here. He looked he definitely packed on the pounds and made Darby Allin look like a small child. Like, he really did. Some people speculated that Sting might show up here. That didn't happen. I don't think it really needed to happen, because this was like all the story that needed to be told was told in the ring. This was, like I said, and Darby being resilient as always, and finally overcoming the odds to pin Cody to become the new TNT champion. This was fantastic. I'm so glad that finally Darby Allin is a champion in AEW. This makes him the first non-former WWE wrestler to hold a championship in AEW. So that's interesting. Singles competitor. As far as tag teams are concerned, we had Frankie Kazarian and we had SCU, and we had Kenny and Hangman and all that stuff. So, but yeah, as far as to hold a singles title, in a men's singles title, Darby Allin is the first non-WWE superstar to hold a singles title in AEW. So that's pretty cool. Homegrown talent and all that stuff. So very excited about this match. Very excited about the results. Really glad for Darby. After the match, we did have Team Taz attack both Cody and Darby Allin. They were about to. So the entrance that Darby had, he came out in like this car, and so Brian Cage and Ricky Starks were about to smash Darby's hand into the car when Will Hobbs came out with a chair to save Darby. So it looks like we're gonna get this feud going on between Darby and Will Hobbs versus Brian Cage and Ricky Starks and Team Taz. Will Hobbs join Team Taz? We still don't know. But what I do know is this next match, Hikaru Shida versus Nyla Rose. Now, I really did like their first match. I thought it was fun. It was good. It was a no DQ match, and then now they have a regular role wrestling match here. I think it could have been the other way around, but that's okay. It is what it is. Because I guess because like their feud wasn't like, it was kind of building, but they didn't really do too much. It was very, very subtle with their feud, because it was literally just Nyla hanging out with Vicky Guerrero in the crowd, staring down Hikaru Shida whenever she had a match, and vice versa. So there was not like huge build. It was like a bit more of a subtle build to this match. So I can kind of understand why they didn't do like a full high stakes kind of a stipulation here. Nyla Rose had a tribute to Mega Man with her gear, and it looked really, really good. I'm sure Mega Ran would have been very happy, as would Kenny, because Kenny's a huge Mega Man fan. So hold on. But Shida continues to cosplay as Tifa Lockhart, so that's pretty cool. I like this match a lot. Shida does a lot more power moves here. I predicted that Shida should win this match, because I don't think I think Nyla, she did good stuff for the title, but I want to keep the title on Shida for a little longer, because I feel that Britt Baker should be the one to take it off of Hikaru Shida. And of course, Shida did retain this time. After a very hard-fought match, like I said, Shida was able to power through Nyla Rose. That was very impressive. And, I don't really have anything else to say. This was good stuff. Another great match in the women's division. I think even if the women's division feels a little bit more, empty, well, not empty, it just feels very kind of depleted, I guess, because of this whole pandemic. If they can focus on putting on quality matches like this one, I think we'll be fine. I think honestly putting on quality matches will kind of dissipate that whole thing. Well, we'll kind of give the illusion of a more beefed up women's roster. So honestly, now that Thunder Rosa is apparently signed with AEW, or so it seems, I guess because NWA, they have that working partnership. So yeah, I'm totally fine. I would not mind seeing people like James Storm coming into WWE, AEW. But anyway, that's a different story. Like I wouldn't mind some other women like Marty Bell coming in and facing off against Sheeta. I think that would be a great match. Marty Bell versus Britt Baker, Marty Bell versus Nyla Rose. Like, give me some of those matches. I mean, that's freaking awesome. I do know that they're doing a lot more great stuff for the women's. I know that the women's matches have been a little bit more, a little bit more, they've been having a lot more women's matches on AEW Dark. So that's cool. I'm glad they're doing that, but I want to see some more women's matches on TV, right? But give me this match. Give me matches like this, and I will forget that the women's roster kind of is depleted in AEW. Okay, give me good women's matches. I know that AEW said they're going to put an emphasis on tag teams, but you should put an emphasis on women's wrestling too. That's my opinion. So give me good women's matches like this, and I'll be happy. Well, like this, and I'll be happy. Speaking of tag teams, we have weird segue. Sorry about that. FTR taking on the Young Bucks, and for the AEW tag team titles. If the Young Bucks lose, they are not allowed to ever challenge for the tag team titles again. I don't understand why they had the stipulation. This was kind of ridiculous. I don't know what it is about Full Gear. Cody last year, when he fought Jericho, he said, "I'll never challenge for the AEW title again if he, if he loses." I mean, Cody, I can kind of understand it because everyone was saying he's like Jeff Jarrett or like Triple H or whatever. They're still saying he's like Triple H because he won the TNT title off of Brody Lee after 5 weeks, which, whatever. But hey, now Darby's the champ, so shut up. Anyway, I don't get it with Young Bucks. They didn't need to have the stipulation, I mean, this was, first of all, a fantastic match. Again, I talked about if they're struggling with the women's division, one place where it is absolutely stacked, it's the tag team division. So this absolutely showed the greatness of AEW's tag team division. This is a match that's been building since FTR were known as the Revival in WWE. So this is long-term booking at its finest. And you know what? This match absolutely lived up to the hype. So many people really wanted to see this match. Everyone was like, "Oh my God, what if FTR and the Young Bucks were to have a match?" People really wanted to see it, and we finally got it. And like I said, this absolutely delivered. It was absolutely worth the wait. It was absolutely worth, the numerous amount of teasing across social media, on BTE, episodes of Dynamite. It was absolutely freaking worth it. All building up to this. I think, obviously, we had, Matt selling the leg still, which was pretty awesome. Which kind of gave us kind of a little bit more of a sympathy towards the Young Bucks. As far as my prediction, I really didn't know who should have won this match. I think because of the whole stipulation that if Bucks lost, they would never challenge for the titles again. I predicted that the Bucks would win this match. And of course, both of these teams have exact opposite styles. Obviously, FTR, the whole no flips, just fists. Although I do think that, I do believe Cash Wheeler did do some sort of a flip in towards the latter half of this match, so that was interesting. But yeah, no flips, just fists versus the spot monkeys, as Matt Hardy likes to call them, or Broken Matt, or or the vanilla midgets, or the flippy shit people, with the Young Bucks. Now, okay, you know what? First of all, I don't think the Young Bucks just do flippy shit. Okay, like they can do a little bit of everything. They can do flippy shit. They can do some technical style of wrestling. So they're not They're not just adhering to one style. I feel. But because they were able to work this old school style really well with FTR. So I just really like that. I think that the Young Bucks and FTR, I think honestly when they were planning out this match, they're like, look, we need to let these people know that it was worth the wait. We need to let them know that they, we need to give them a big payoff for their patience. And I have to thank the Bucks and FTR for putting on an absolute classic. This was honestly one of my favorite matches. This was definitely one of the matches of the night for me. I think that once I talk to Tim and John, I do feel like this match will be on our list for best matches of November. So definitely look out for that. But honestly, this absolutely stole the show for me so far. It was absolutely awesome, and I don't know what else to say about it. The Bucks finally did win the tag team titles. Kenny Omega came out to celebrate. There was a really cool visual of Hangman Adam Page hanging out at the entrance ramp and just watching his former friends, get the title, former friends celebrate, knowing that he probably can't really go out there, and knowing that he can't go out there to celebrate with them because there's been some bad blood there. So it's pretty interesting to see. So it looks like this whole storyline with the Elite is not over. Obviously, Kenny Omega, I think Kenny and the Bucks do need to go heel for a little bit and then come back full circle, turn face again with Hangman Adam Page, and then go from there. I think that's what will happen sometime down the line. So we'll see. But this story, this whole storyline is just going and going and going. So we'll see, man. I get long-term booking, but honestly, I just want heel Bucks and heel Kenny like tomorrow. So, I think we've waited enough. I think it's time, okay? I don't want to be married with kids by the time Bucks and Kenny go heel. Okay? Please, don't wait that long. Anyway, so overall, what an awesome match this was. What a freaking awesome match. Please watch this one. If you feel like watching the entire pay-per-view, at least watch this match because it is absolutely worth it. So we move on to the Elite Deletion. Matt Hardy versus Sammy Guevara in the Hardy compound. This was a cinematic style match, and this was fantastic. I loved every bit of it. This was awesome. Okay, obviously Matt Hardy has absolutely killed it with all of his matches that were filmed in the Hardy compound, whether it was the final deletion, Delete or Decay, Tag Team Apocalypto, the Ultimate Deletion, and even in the Ultimate Deletion in WWE with Bray Wyatt was actually still pretty good. I remember watching that match and I called it a beautiful disaster, which is exactly what it needs to be. Like that match over there in WWE that he did with Bray Wyatt, that is what the House of Horrors match should have been. And I think Bray and Matt did a fantastic job in delivering. Of course, they did have Jeremy Borash helping with the production, so I think that helped a lot. So anyway, but as far as the Elite Deletion, I think this is definitely was really good. Definitely made up for their match at All Out, because their match at All Out I didn't really care for that match. I actually didn't like it. It was just that there was some referee stoppage because Matt Hardy apparently got concussed, all kinds of stuff. So luckily, in a more cinematic environment, he's able to kind of control a little bit more. But we had appearances, of course, from Santana and Ortiz, as well as Private Party. A cool thing that, Private Party's code was "This ain't water." His code, that was fun. I thought that was funny because when Santana and Ortiz and Sammy were beating up on Matt Hardy pulled out a walkie-talkie from underneath the ring over there, and he's like, "This ain't water, this ain't water." And Private Party came in and helped even out the odds. We had appearances from the Hurricane once again, and Gangrel, which is pretty cool because Matt Hardy and Sammy Guevara were both trained by Gangrel. And of course, and it was pretty cool to see that. Very, very cool to see Gangrel again. It was interesting to see him at least in some sort of capacity. So overall, really good stuff. This match, and I did predict that Matt Hardy would win this match, and he did. He won this match against Sammy, and now Sammy has been has been put into not even the Lake of Reincarnation, but into the vehicle of obsolete vehicle something. I forgot what exactly he said, but it was basically Sammy Guevara has been deleted, and hopefully Sammy will come back as a babyface. I kind of just want Sammy to return. Well, you know what? I'm going to talk about what I want to happen after we talk about this next match, which is Chris Jericho versus MJF. If MJF won this match, he joins the Inner Circle. Now, I did predict that MJF would win this match, but this was a pretty good match. I think that at this point, Jericho can work just about any style, and MJF continues to prove that he is just as good in the ring as he is on the mic. So, and I think this is a match that a lot of people have been wanting to see. Again, another example of long-term booking. They've been kind of booking this match since a little bit after. For pretty much a whole year, they've been kind of booking this a little bit. They've been kind of, they've been kind of teasing this a little bit since, like I said, since, last year. So, interesting to see how the long-term booking played out. Now, obviously, MJF had a very obviously, I just want to go ahead and talk about the finish of this match because it was really good. The finish of this match came when MJF got the Dynamite ring from Wardlow. The ref was distracted by Wardlow, and obviously Chris Jericho, Jake Hager was under the ring with Floyd, which he handed to Chris Jericho, and MJF went like this, and he feinted, so it looked like Chris Jericho hit MJF with the bat. So obviously he argued with the ref, and then he rolled up Jericho 1, 2, 3 for the pin. MJF wins, and now he is part of the Inner Circle. Now, here's what I would like to happen. I would actually like Sammy Guevara to be kicked out of the Inner Circle, and I would like for him to have a good old-fashioned babyface run. Maybe he can be managed by Matt Hardy, and maybe he can even team up with Private Party, and I think that would be fine, Or he let him just have a good old singles run. I actually would love to see Sammy versus Darby, number 3, part 3, for the TNT title. I would love to see Sammy versus Ricky Starks. That would be a fantastic match, and I think finally, Sammy has gotten all the elevation that he needs. I feel. I don't think he needs Chris Jericho anymore. So I feel like he can be broken away from the Inner Circle and kind of distances. He can be distanced from the Inner Circle. If you want to get rid of Santana and Ortiz as well, actually don't get rid of Santana and Ortiz. MJF and Wardlow were both in the Inner Circle. By the way, I forgot to mention. So, and we also had a bit of a tense stare down between Wardlow and Jake Hager. Perhaps that's a match that's going to happen at some point. I do feel like we're going to get some sort of, or we can go that way, or we can go in the way of we have some division in the Inner Circle where Chris Jericho has a side and MJF has a side, right? So I think obviously, someone like, obviously Chris Jericho and Jake Hager might be one team along with Sammy Guevara and along with I would say even Sammy Guevara and Ortiz, and MJF's side obviously MJF and Wardlow because he kind of has to, and Santana. I think that would be interesting to kind of have that inner circle civil war kind of scenario going on. I think I could definitely see that at some point. But I think honestly, just kick Sammy out of the inner circle and give them a face run, and you can still do the whole what is it called, the civil war in the inner circle. You just don't need to involve Sammy in it. So I would be fine with either scenario. But anyway, with that being said, let's move on to our main event. Now I said that FTR versus Young Bucks was match of the night until I watched this match. Jon Moxley versus Eddie Kingston for the AEW World Championship in an I Quit match. Now, this match, of course, if you saw the match at Hell in a Cell between Roman Reigns and Jey Uso, that was also an I Quit match. It was very good because it had really good storytelling, a lot of emotion, and of course, the wrestling was still pretty good. But the thing is, it didn't have as much like wrestling going on. This match had a lot of storytelling, a lot of emotion, and a lot of good wrestling. And this didn't even feel like a wrestling match actually. This felt like a goddamn fight. And I think it's very apropos for Moxley and Kingston to wrestle this kind of a match. For a long amount of, I think a good 1/3 of this match, we didn't get a lot of weapons. All the violence was just these two men, but it actually showed that these two don't really need to be, all nearly killing themselves to put on a violent, visceral, just absolutely raw kind of a match. Like they were biting each other for God's sake. That was freaking crazy. And it just I do think that Moxley and Eddie were already bleeding before the weapons were introduced. And the weapons, we had some pretty standard ones. We had barbed wire baseball bats, chairs, and a bag of thumbtacks. We did have one part where Eddie Kingston picked up the baseball bat and tore off a piece of barbed wire, wrapped it around his fist, and started pummeling Jon Moxley. Moxley did the same, and that barbed wire... Oh, by the way, I did predict that Moxley was going to win this match. But finally, the barbed wire that Eddie Kingston used on Moxley would be his undoing, as Jon Moxley, he didn't want to do this. Just like Roman Reigns didn't want to beat up Jey Uso, Moxley didn't want to beat up Eddie because this is his friend, And he's like, I don't want to do this, come on, Eddie. And then Eddie at one point, he wasn't even looking at Moxley. He just went, and flipped him off. So Moxley's like, fine, you did this to yourself. Takes the barbed wire, wraps it around Eddie's neck, and until finally Eddie says, I quit. And Jon Moxley does retain. After the match, we had a bit of a stare down between Kenny and Mox. Honestly, I wish Kenny attacked Mox. I think that would have made more of an impact. But it's okay. Because Kenny did make it a point to say that he didn't want a part of any of this, and he wanted like a pure wrestling match between Jon Moxley. And I think that makes sense. He doesn't want any of this, no unsanctioned stipulation, any of this blood or any of that crap. He wants a pure wrestling match against Moxley. Which, you know what? I respect Kenny for that, because even though Jon Moxley is known more for his deathmatch style, he's not a pushover. Not pushover. He's no slouch when it comes to in-ring action, and all of us should know that by now, right? So I think that we're gonna get a damn good wrestling match, just a pure wrestling match out of Moxley and Kenny whenever that happens. Of course, Mox did, unlike with Roman and Jay, where Roman was just, after his victory, he just raised his title. Alpha and Sika were on the entrance. They put on the little garland around his neck. Unlike that, Moxley was a little bit more humble. He actually wanted to help this man who he considered his friend, but of course Eddie Kingston wanted no part of it, and he just pushed Moxley away and just went to the back. Again, fantastic, really good storytelling here. Although I think the thing is, I know I keep comparing the two matches, but look, they're both similar matches, okay? But I think that with Roman versus Jay, it was more about the emotion versus Moxley and Kingston. The emotion, the storytelling was through the actions, was through the pain that they were putting each other through. It wasn't so much about the dialogue. There was some dialogue there, but it was more about what these two men were physically doing to each other. That told the entire story. For that, I give Jon Moxley versus Eddie Kingston match of the night. However, other matches, like I said, Bucks versus FTR was really good, and as well as Bucks versus FTR was really good, Cody versus Darby was really good, and the Elite Deletion. So 4 great matches, and the rest of them were anywhere from good to pretty. They're from good to pretty good. So, so take your pick, right? Overall, I don't think there was a horrible, a bad match on Full Gear. I think this is a very solid AEW pay-per-view. So they absolutely pulled it off. They absolutely killed it. And my final rating for AEW Full Gear 2020 is a thumbs up. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching this review. What did you guys think about Full Gear? What were some of your favorite matches? Let me know all that stuff in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your patience, guys. Seriously, 2020 has been an absolutely crazy year, but look, we got one more month left. We got this month and December left. We're almost done with this year, so just stay strong, everybody. We got this. Let's just stay united and do what we got to do to make this a little bit more tolerable as best as we can. So with that being said, thank you all for watching again. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on social media. Tell your friends about the Nerdy Mark, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye-bye.